It's a giant episode on Super Spells today with Curtly Ambrose and his menacing spell against Australia in Perth. Then an English conquest for the silent assassin, a 5-wicket haul at Birmingham from Courtney Walsh. And finally, India's gentle giant, Anil Kumble, with his 5-wicket haul against the Aussies.
What a delivery that is. It's a take it. Oh, he's bowled it. Oh, he's knocked him over. What a rhythm. Oh, there we go. He's gone.
Hello there again and welcome to another edition of Super Spells. We're talking bowling. We've seen a lot of batting, but this is the chance for the bowlers in this series to show us what they can do and what they have done in test matches. And of course, we're talking about Curtly Ambrose and Courtney Walsh, two of the greatest West Indies fast bowlers. We'll see. As soon as you looked at the opposition team list, you saw Ambrose and Walsh, you thought, oh dear, I hope it's not cloudy and I hope it's, there's no grass on that pitch.
And, oh God, how are we going to get runs against them?
But Curtly Ambrose especially.
One of the greatest of all time. I remember, it's a very funny story, I remember when we toured West Indies in 1988, Mudassar Nazar, one of our senior players at the time, opener, and there was a 4-day game at Jamaica, and that was my first trip to West Indies. And we asked Mudassar, who is this guy? Because he used to play basketball before, and there was in the newspaper, he's the fastest bowler. He said, Mudi said, no, I've seen him before, he's okay. I said, okay. So he went into bat, Mudassar opened the innings, second ball, tong, and Mudi came out on a stretcher. So we realized then he's quite sharp.
Curtly Ambrose then, the menace for the West Indies, beautifully described by Wasim Akram. So let's take you back then to February '97. It's Australia against the West Indies. The Australians had already won the series 3-1, but this is a chance now for Ambrose and Walsh to set the seal on a series which they had lost. So it wouldn't have been easy for the Australians, even though they'd won this series. Blisteringly hot conditions down there at the Wacker. The Australians have won the toss, and they've decided they'll have a bat first.
On. Yes, he's out. That's beautifully bowled. Hayden out for duck. Certainly, Ambrose makes the big difference for the West Indies.
Well, it's a wonderful piece of bowling. Using the bounce here at the Wacker. A lot of inexperienced bowlers come to Perth and see the bounce and want to bang the ball in. Curtly Ambrose has been here often enough to know that you must pitch it up and let the bounce work for you. Look how long this ball's in the air. Brian Lara is a long way back at first slip. The ball's just got there now. Matthew Hayden's about a third of the way down the pitch before he's out. He's hit the spot straight away. Left-hander out. Brian Lara a long way back and backing off even further. Possibly going back just to make the height a little bit more comfortable. Get a look at it from the other end. Brian Lara just getting back. That's wide, it's out. Big Nick. Wide and swinging further away. Steve Waugh couldn't resist the temptation. Hasn't been one of the better series for Steve Waugh so far. In recent years, he's been the stalwart of the Australian batting lineup. But for some reason or other, he's just struggled a bit this summer, and it hasn't always been the good ball that's got him out.
No, he got out to a shocker in Adelaide, and this one, had he had his time again, I don't think he'd have been playing at that. Although you've got a score, and he reckoned that was there to cut or drive through the offside, but it resulted in just a little nick, and Ambrose gets his second wicket. The ball did swing, but it was well wide of off stump, and Steve Waugh wanting to crash that away past point for 4 succeeded only in just getting the faintest of edges. That's the end of him.
On. Well caught. Curtly Ambrose strikes again. Mark Waugh's gone for 79. Well caught a third slip. That was the wicket the West Indies needed, and the Grace fast bowler has produced once again.
Welcome to our Eastern States viewers. You've joined at a very exciting time here. The West Indians have struck just after the tea break. They've got rid of Mark Waugh. What a wicket this is for them. Mark Waugh out caught by Campbell off the bowling of Ambrose for 79. Once again, he's got out when he really looked set for 100. It nipped back a little bit, bounced a little more than he expected, and Campbell, diving away to his right, makes the catch.
And it just moved back a bit off the seam, crowded him a fraction. and it was a very good catch at third slip just after the tea break. So wonderful breakthrough for Ambrose, who now has 3 for 30. And Mark Waugh once again, when in control, not going on to make the big 100.
Yes, he was out in the 80s in Adelaide, and he's now done it here as well. 79, having done all the hard work, he really looked set to get on and score that 100. It wasn't to be. He's back in the pavilion for 79, and that's the catch again.
Got him! Oh, what a bowler. Knocked him over as clean as a whistle. Straight through Healy, through bat and pad. At 6 for 186 in the West Indies, right in this test match.
Yes, great bowling that was. Pitched outside off stump. May have nipped back a little bit, but it seemed to me that Healy was just late on it, and the off stump went back a long way. Lovely bowling. What's this one? Yeah, he was late, and there was a little bit of a gap there between the bat and the pad, wasn't there?
It's just moved away a bit off the seam, actually. It may have hit one of those cracks. It actually straightened up quite a bit and took off stump. It's beautiful bowling. Out! He's got 2! Yes! He's caught it on the third attempt. He's on a hat-trick. Can you believe that? In, out, in, out. What a bowler.
Yeah, it looked as if it was down, didn't it? It was in, it was out, it was in again, it was out, and then at last he got it. Well, that's 5 for Ambrose, and that was the end of rifle in 1 ball. Now let's have another look at this. It really did look as if it was getting further and further away from him, wasn't it? He eventually got it, but boy, it was the last grasp. Let's have a look. Here we go. Bounced, out it went, in, little juggle, 2, 3, and that was it, dead. Got him. Well, in the fingertips at the end of the day.
7 for 186.
Five for 43 from Curtly Ambrose in his last test match in Australia. The West Indies winning by 10 wickets. What a send-off for Curtly Ambrose, and of course for Courtney Walsh, 5 wickets in Australia's second innings. The Australians had won the series, but that takes nothing away from the way that Curtly Ambrose performed. The crowd and the Australians gave him a standing ovation as he left the field, and in hugely hot conditions, it was the way that Ambrose liked to sign off. But he did the business, didn't he, in hot conditions down there at the Wacker. I would have thought the combination of heat, the Wacker pitch, and Ambrose at 6'9" or 10, whatever he is, not a batsman's paradise.
Not really, no. But he was a very difficult bowler because I have played against both of them a lot. I mean, unfortunately, a lot. I mean, say if I've played 19 years, out of 18 years I've played against them. So it was very, especially as a tail-ender coming in a Murray, imagine Curtly Ambrose is coming and you're always like up there somewhere. As a tail-ender, it looks like he's right on you, and he was always there. He was one of those bowlers who will never give you a loose delivery. So that's why he was one of the greatest of all time, because you can see his economy rate is must be 2 point something, not more than that.
Absolutely right. He was a giant in every aspect of the word. Curtly Ambrose.